are doing the feature race currently, and MCR Venom is on a lap here at the Silverstone Circuit for round 5 of the championship. We come through Farman Abbey for the first time. It is Venom currently on a lap. He's right up there with Lyronic, Siege, Honey Badger, Blizzard. For Venom doing a good job currently out on track. Now through into the loop section and then into Aintree before going down the Wellington Straight. And Venom now on a great lap currently, 25 seconds through down towards the Wellington Straight, and now reaching the end of sector 1. Venom a 30.7 out on track as he locks up slightly into Brooklands. Through turn 6 he goes, and then through 7 at Luffield of course, and then towards Woodcus and Cops. Venom on a charge. Toxic Blizzard, Toxic Venom, Blizzard, Lyronics, Ollie well up there as well as we come down towards the old turn 1 at Cops. Venom looking good through there and coming up towards Maggots and Beckett's now out on track. The MP Motorsport man. So the qualifying ban last week of course in Austria, looking to provide himself with a good result here in one-shot qualifying. Venom then on to the Hangar Straight, and it's a 112.1 out on track. Lyronics has retired from the session. Looks like he's picked up an invalidation out on track. Now down towards Stowe. Venom looking good. Toxic Blizzard, Honey Badger. It's the main 4 really in the championship that are really fighting this. Oh, and Venom is actually invalidated on his lap. So Venom has invalidated on his lap. We'll see how the field come as they come through Vale and Club once again. Toxic, Ollie Flavel, Siege, Blizzard all going to be up there. And across the line, it is Toxic with a 139.1. Ollie Flavel second with a 139.4. I think that was Siege in third with a 139.5. Good evening, Aidan. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, thank you. Yeah, great qualifying. I was on board with Ollie Flavel for that lap actually, and I think that's Ollie Flavel's best qualifying of the year so far. Definitely more competitive than he's been. So it's great to see him up on the front row of the grid. Blizzard not having the cleanest of laps. I think he was a little bit messy in the last sector, so he lost a bit of time towards the end of the lap. Quite significantly at the end.
It is Toxic though who takes quality pole from Ollie in second, Blizzard in third, Siege in fourth, Honey Badger in fifth, Vic Mill sixth, Brandon Glover in seventh, Maze in eighth, Spike in ninth, Sean in 10th, Conti 11th, Casper 12th, and no time set for Lyronics, Venom, Suarez and Z3xa all either getting disqualified or invalidated laps out on track. Coming into tonight, Blizzard by the way won both races in Austria. Z3xa got driver of the day, and coming into tonight's standings, Blizzard leads on 112 points. Vic Mill second on 80, Siege in third on 76, Honey Badger in fourth on 71, Toxic in fifth on 66 with Spike in sixth on 59, Venom in seventh on 44, Troy in eighth on 25, Z3xa in ninth on 23, and Lyronics in 10th on 22. And you guys will probably be wondering why this video is going to be different. Sadly, by the time we get this video out, YouTube has completely stopped here within the UK, and other issues are happening as well, and other people are having issues I should say as well. So this is going to be a 2-part video. So you're going to see the feature race now, and then you will see the sprint race, hopefully going to be uploaded just as soon as this. It's painful for us, but I mean, coming on to what happened last week, Blizzard was just so dominant last week in Austria. Absolutely, yeah. It was a real. I think the race before at Baku was a real turning point for Blizzard, and he had a lot of momentum building up after that event. He had a good time a couple of weeks ago, and then last week at Austria he was just in a class of his own. Really, he was dominant in the wet and the dry at Austria. The track just really suited him. He under threat from anyone at any point. So a pretty dominant double win in Austria last time out. And it's blown the championship wide open because it was relatively close coming into that event. Now Blizzard holds an absolute massive lead. I think it's over 20 points at this point, so he has a pretty big lead to next Vic Mill, who's second at the moment. And Blizzard still has the advantage over Vic Mill at the moment. He's 6th on the grid and Blizzard 3rd, so Blizzard's still on a good run at the moment. He's still, even with the 3rd place in qualifying, it's not at the front of the field, but he's still got an advantage over the closest in the championship, so he's on a roll at the moment. He is on a roll, and coming into tonight, Blizzard 32 points ahead of Vic Mill, so that's a massive advantage to come into tonight. But what we've got is 15 laps for you in the feature race. Blizzard just looks like he had a little bit of a moment there coming down towards Brooklands, just in behind. But Toxic leading us along on the formation lap down towards, of course, Woodcut and the old turn one at Cops. And everyone going for a set of hard compound of tyres. Now that is a bit of a different strategy to what I was expecting, to be honest. Obviously in normal Formula 1 cars you would see the hard compound tyres never be used around here, but in F2 these guys will be hoping to make it probably to about lap 8, lap 9 and then pit in for set of softs.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same. I think where around Silverstone bizarrely is not managed. I think Silverstone you kind of expect it to be a quite tyre wear track because of the high speed and the amount of direction changes you have to make quite quickly, but it's not really that hard on tyres, so the like Honey Badger starting, but actually the only person starting on the softs, he should probably be able to take those softs to about lap 5 or 6 maybe, and then put the hards on for the end of the race. It's going to be interesting though. I am incredibly shocked to see that much every single person on the field has gone for the hards up from Honey Badger. I would have expected a bit more of a mix, but everyone's gone for what we'd call the alternate strategy, and now the main strategy you usually see has become the alternate this time round.
Yeah, alternate strategy definitely going to be quite interesting. And as you say, Honey Badger on a set of soft compound tyres. We're right on board with him now. Bit of PG-18 going on there, I think, with him and his teammate. I think that's Ollie Flavel coming around the final couple of corners. Of course, Ollie actually... No, it's not Ollie. It must be his teammate Conti who's coming around the final corner there. But top 3, very quickly, who are you predicting for the feature race win?
I think Toxic, I think he's going to make up for his poor event in Austria, and I think we're going to see Toxic back on the top step today. Second, I'm going to go for Blizzard. Third, I'm going to go for Honey Badger in third.
Honey Badger in third, quite interesting. I'm going to go Blizzard, Toxic, Ollie Flavel for top 3. In that order. Specifically, 5 red lights then about to go out here for round 5. It's the feature race here at Silverstone. Long Holden lights, but it is lights out and away we go. Toxic bogs down off the start and has lost many positions off the start of the race. And Siege and Ollie Flavel go down towards turn 1 at Farm quickly, side by side, 3 wide through turn 1 and behind with Blizzard, Honey Badger and Siege looking on board there with Toxic dropping down to 8. But Ollie Flavel's got the lead down towards the village section. Lyronix is round through Farm, so unlucky for him, the German, and there's a spinner in the background. There's a couple of spinners in the background. Conti is round, I think, and Brandon Glover and Venom, I think, caught up in that as well. But Blizzard and Ollie side by side with Honey Badger right and behind. Alternate strategy working here for Honey Badger as he's on the right hand side. It's 3 wide running down to Brooklands. Ollie Flavel on the inside, Blizzard through the middle, Honey Badger around the outside. This is very good racing, this, between these guys. Just forced off. He cannot go 3 wide through there, if I've got to be honest. And how on earth they've got through there is an absolute godsend to the guys out on track. Ollie Flavel leads though and is holding firm by a 1/10 of a second from Blizzard. But look at the run Blizzard's got. He's on the inside line now on Ollie, the Trident against the Sauber Junior car. Down the inside goes Blizzard for the lead of the race. Ollie keeping it firm around the outside with the traction. Look at Honey Badger trying to go for a bit of a Red Sea scenario. Blizzard is on the inside line and they're going side by side through Maggots and Beckett's. They're leaning on each other a little bit. Oh, and there's contact between them both, and that was inevitable. Blizzard and Honey Badger make contact, and I'm sad to say that was very much inevitable out on track between them both. Side by side through Maggots and Beckett's as hard as at the best of times, but that has just taken it to a whole new level, I think. Ollie Flavel then leads the way by 5/10 of a second for Vic Mill in second. Mays has got up to a hell of a start. He goes down the inside of Sean, the 5th position, and the Dams car has got that move done, so Mays through and he is up into 5th position. Good move there down the inside of Stowe, but at the end of lap 1, Ollie leads, Vic Mill 2nd, Spike 3rd, Toxic 4th, Mays 5th, Sean 6th, Casper 7th, Siege and 8th, Speedy Suarez in 9th. Good start from him. And Z3's at 10th, Conti in 11th, Brandon in 12th, and a bit of a move there going on actually from Suarez. A little bit of a lag inside. He goes down the inside actually of Casper, a little bit of contact, and Casper straight off, I think, into the gravel. So Casper has rejoined. He's just off there in the gravel. So he rejoined safely in 15th position. A little bit argy-bargy here at Silverstone.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a chaotic start. That move from Honey Badger and Blizzard. You can't really put anyone to blame there. I think both of them are equally to blame for that one. It was over-ambitious, I think, from Honey Badger, but at the same time, Blizzard kind of run Honey Badger out of room. So that kind of incident was inevitable, that kind of hard racing. Other things happened at the start. I don't know what on earth happened to Toxic at the start, but the lights went out and he just didn't move. It's like he completely missed the start of the race and forgot to release the clutch and get going. So he got absolutely swamped at the start, like you say. Just having a look at positions gained as well. Honeybadger's actually retired from the session. I think he's spun, I think, and he's actually just retired out on track. So that's a real shame for Honeybadger. He was the only one on the alternate strategy, and it's obviously just not worked for him after that first lap incident. But looking at positions gained on the first lap, Spike is up to 3rd from 9th on the grid. He's had an incredible start. Speedy Suarez was at the back of the grid. He's gained 8 places and he's into the top 7 already. So Steve Weeks is up 7 places and he's into 9th. So a number of people benefiting from that chaos and have managed to work their way forwards. And Mr. Consistency himself back in the podium again, despite being outside the top 5
got 3 wide. Sorry to cut in. Brandon Glover, Venom, and Conti 3 wide through Stoll. Never going to work, and Venom has came out on top. Down the inside, he goes, passing them both. Conti and Brandon Glover now side by side, coming through Vale and into Club. And Brandon's on the inside line, but Conti switches it back to perfection on the inside line. That was always going to work for the Arc 1 pre-man, and he's doing his up to 11th. But Venom taking full advantage there, and he's up into 10th.
Yeah, that was a brilliant move from Venom and from Conti to read that he knew that Brandon Glover was going to go wide in Club, and Conti switched it back and got back up the inside. And just noticing that Conti has damage to his front wing on the right hand side. He's missing an end plate. Also notice, I think Toxic is also missing an end plate, so he's made contact with someone somewhere around the 2nd or the 1st lap. The top 3 is still unscathed, but Ollie Flavel at the moment, we talk about, I want to touch wood because I don't want to curse him. I feel like I've cursed Ollie every time I've talked about him, but he's had a really unlucky start to the season. He's shown good pace. He's not quite been, I'd say, race-winning pace. He's definitely had podium pace throughout the season, and he's just been incredibly unlucky in some races. But Silverstone, he's absolutely coming alive.
He's coming alive. 1.1 seconds the gap to Vic Miller. Mr. Consistency himself looks like he's a little bit under pressure here, I think, from Ollie Flavel ahead. Ollie looks quicker than Vic Mill currently out on track. Spike in 3rd as well, getting 6th position. As you rightly said, I think Blizzard has gone down the inside there through Conti. They're side by side running through Maggots and Beckett, and Blizzard has got that move done. So the Trident man through, and he's up into 11th position. I was a bit late into the party with that one, to be honest. Brandon on the back of Conti, and Conti's struggling with that front wing damage. Goodness me, how's Brandon and Lyronix got around him? Conti will have to come into the pits, I think, but he shouldn't risk it because he's on a set of hard compounder tyres. He's just going to have to sit and suffer, I think, at this stage of the race.
Yeah, I don't think hitting now and putting the softs on is the smart choice. He won't be able to take this to the end, so he's just got to try and work as hard as he can to stay in front, stay close enough to the people in front. And who knows, there may be a bit of chaos further on. It was a bit chaotic the first lap, so there's nothing betting against it being a bit chaotic further on as well. Just looking at other people, Venom's starting to make his way back through. He's going to make a move on Z3 on the outside of turn 2, and he makes it stick. Brilliant move from Venom. He's up to 9th, and he's back on the back of Siege. I don't know what happened to Siege on the first lap. He was at the front of the field, but he's dropped down to P8 somewhere. I don't know if he's made a mistake. I think we completely missed that. He's down 4 positions from the starting grid, so he made a mistake somewhere in those early stages as well, and I didn't quite catch that. But Venom's working his way back through from the back of the field, so he's up 5 places and he's on the back of this queue that's starting to fall behind Maze at the moment. Toxic with that front wing damage isn't obviously able to keep up with the top 3, but he's still got a comfortable enough gap to the queue behind him, so he's kind of in a bit of a lonely race at the moment.
Yeah, Toxic in 4th, doing a good job though out on track, left side end plate damage as you say, but the top 3 now beginning to get covered by a blanket, quite literally, out on track. 1.2 seconds out on track between Ollie, Vicmill and Spike as they fly through Maggots and Beckett for the 4th time. Toxic trying to gain, but he is losing consistently about 5 or 6 tenths per lap out on track, and it's not really the greatest thing to do out on track. He's got front wing damage, he's on a set of hards, he shouldn't really pit yet. It will have to be around lap 8, lap 9. So again, he's another one that's just going to have to sit and suffer at this stage. Speaking of not sitting suffering, because Venom is on the inside line of Siege down towards Stowe. Can he get the move done? The MP water spot on this contact. He just broke way too late for the corner, and Venom has escaped from the scene of the crime. I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah, that was far too late on the brakes. The Siege, oh, that's a really unfortunate penalty for Siege. That isn't deserved at all. Oh my word, Casper nearly ploughed straight into the back of the Siege when he came onto the track. How Casper missed him and saved that car. Holy, that was incredible. Great driving from Casper to hold it. Oh, and again in the last corner, his tyres are obviously overheating from that moment. But yeah, that was a case of Venom just being too overly aggressive, and he sent that way too deep into the corner. He had the move done. He didn't need to brake that late, but he braked incredibly late, and he just sent Siege off the road. So that's a that's a real like you say, it's a pretty much a an escape from the scene of the crime, and Siege's actually retired from the session now.
Yeah.
Sean made a mistake on the exit of the farm hairpin, I believe, and he's going to get
Venom's up the
and Venom's gonna
inside.
get him, yeah.
Trying to get the move done, he has. Fair play. That's a clean move that time from Venom to get the move done through Brooklands. And he's through and he's up to 8. But look who's on the back. Blizzard is coming back into this race. He's 9th now out on track. And I'm just going to cut in with the battle for second as well, because Spike is all over the back of Vic Mill as well. And Ollie Flavel is under real sustained pressure now. Vic Mill, Mr. Consistent himself, looks like Mr. Quick out on track.
Yeah, he's starting to catch up. I don't know if Ollie's made a mistake somewhere. He was over a second ahead, but the two behind are now starting to reel them in. The top three are getting closer and closer. Spike, he's not quite close enough. The Spike is just not, he's not going to get there because of Vic Mill's DRS. And we know that Spike tends to run a higher downforce setup, and it never really helps him race through him. He's usually pretty dominant in qualifying sometimes, but he isn't able to overtake anyone down the straights because his downforce is just too high. And I think we might be seeing the same thing again today, that he's running a bit of a higher downforce setup, and it's not giving him the restability he needs.
Blizzard's trying to go around the outside into Vale. Sorry to cut in again, but Blizzard trying to go around the outside of Sean into Vale. That was never going to pull off, I've got to say. But the Trident man trying his best, and trying his best he has. Fastest lap of the race from Blizzard out on track. Ollie Flavel leads, 7/10 of a second. Vic Mill in second, Spike in third. But unlike Honey Badger, and Blizzard's actually down the inside of Sean, and he's going to make this one stick down into Village. Good move there by Blizzard. Can he repay off the favour though? Sean trying to go all the way around the outside of the loop. Who's going to have the DRS out of these two? It looks like it's going to be Sean, because he drops in behind. In fact, it's not. It's Blizzard. And both of them actually get DRS. So both of them now got DRS. Who's the quicker down the straight between these two? Blizzard cuts him off. Sean trying to go around the outside line into Brooklands. Not going to get that one off. And Blizzard, good piece of racing that. He's through and he's up to 8th.
Yeah, he's working his way through quite nicely now after that first lap contact. He's not far off of a top 4 finish at this point. I think the top 3 might be a little bit out of his reach at this point, but obviously top 2 with this front wing damage and this Q forming behind Maze, Blizzard's still on for a possible 4th place in this race, so he just needs to keep it clean and make the overtake stick the first time he goes for them, and he could be on for 4th. Lyronix meanwhile picked up his first time penalty, and that's the first time penalty of the race, so I don't imagine we're going to see a lot of those in this race. I think Silverstone, in terms of track limits, isn't too brutal on drivers. I think it is relatively lenient around this track, so penalties are going to be a bit few and far between in this race.
Yeah, Siege obviously getting that 10-second time penalty, of course, I'm sure if he continued would have been removed anyways. Blizzard, by the way, is down the inside of Speedy Suarez, gets the move done, and Venom is all over the back of Maze, and Maze now feeling a lot under pressure here. He does not want a career into the back of Maze, who really has attributed himself quite well as Maze over the last couple of weeks. He's got the look there, which is good to see, and he's got the look here tonight. He's currently in 5th, but Venom is right on the back of him, and Blizzard actually sets the new fastest lap of the race in behind, 43.346 out on track for Blizzard. But Spike trying to chase down Vic Mill, nearly through the halfway stage here at Silverstone. As I say, sorry about no live stream. Hopefully this will be a video uploaded in the coming days. Spike is on the back of Vic Mill though. Look at this, down towards Brooklyn. Univitolti against BWT Arden. Can the Univitolti go sailing up the inside? He can. Spike has got the move done. Vic Mill gave him right away in the corner. Spike is through and he's up to 2nd. And I think Venom is going side by side with Maze. And look at Blizzard as well. Blizzard up. Maze is going to lose out on 2 positions here. Blizzard trying to go around the outside through Luffield on Maze. Good move there by Blizzard. Just had a little bit of a squirrely moment. Not sure if there was a tiny little bit of contact there. But Venom is through and he's up to 5th. Blizzard through up to 6th. Maze beginning to drop down.
Yeah, Maze starting to struggle a little bit now. I just don't think he has the pace of the 2 in front of him. He's holding Suarez and Sean behind, which is good for him, and he's on for a possible good pole at this point. But yeah, Blizzard and Venom is too fast at this point for Maze to hold him back. And Venom and Blizzard are catching Toxic and Overfist now for P4, so those two are absolutely flying. Blizzard, look, he's really on a mission to try and make up for that mistake on the first lap, and he actually might have a look at Venom into Stowe, as if he's close enough. Venom thinks about defending, he does defend. Blizzard's going to look to the outside. I think he's going to try and get he's going to try and get the switch back for the exit of the corner. But I think Venom parks the bus pretty well there, and Blizzard isn't able to make the move. He goes for a little look at the chicane. Venom outbrakes himself actually, but Blizzard followed him. I think Blizzard thought about going for a late braking manoeuvre, and Venom actually outbraked Blizzard in the end, and they both ended up going deep. So Venom holds on to P5. Race leader's got a time penalty on the exit of turn 1. Ollie Flavel picks up a time penalty now.
Yeah, Ollie picking up a time penalty. Unfortunate. That is going to cost him, I think, in his chase for this win. Spike and Vicmil in behind. Could be on for P3. I think Ollie actually out on track with the 3-second time penalty. Nobody, funny enough, has actually gone for a bit of an undercut strategy to go on for a set of soft
Spike
compounded tyres. Spike.
Oh, Spike late on the brakes. Wow.
God almighty.
Yeah, Ollie parks in the middle of the road. He sees it coming, so Spike isn't
able
to really do anything.
He can't go around the outside. Switch it back?
No. It's gonna
he could, really you know.
Or Ollie's going to stick to the racing line, but Ollie couldn't get across in front of Spike in time to defend it, so Spike's surely going to get this move done into Cops. Ollie, though, pulling back on the outside with a better straight line speed. They're still side by side through Cops.
Good move.
Brilliant racing between these two, but yeah, Spike is through. Spike just has more pace at this point, but that's given Ollie Flavel the DRS for the hanger straight, so can Ollie keep close enough through Magus and Beckett and pass it down the straight? He looks close enough, surely he's going to be able to repass Spike down into Stowe. Spike has a better exit from the corner, but Ollie's going to have DRS. Surely this is move done if he's close enough. Spike all the way to the grass defending. Ollie has to go to the outside. Is he brake late enough? Not quite. Spike's going to keep it. So Spike.
He's switching it back on the inside. Oh, can Ollie get this? No.
No, is he going to go for a late move down the inside? He's not confident enough on the brakes to make the late move stick. So Spike holds on to the lead.
It's fantastic racing out on track. Spike taking the lead of the race from Ollie Flavel. Vicmil now in third, and Toxic is under sustained pressure now from Venom. I think Casper has gained on Conti, by the way, further down the field. So that is gained. There was a little bit of lag there, actually. Venom down the inside line of Toxic down towards turn 1. Can he get the move done there? Side by side through here. Venom forces Toxic off track. He lets him go just about, but he will have the inside line down into the village section. Toxic around the outside, in fact. Can Toxic pull off this move? He's fighting very valiantly with that left side end plate damage. Venom switching it back. They're both side by side coming through entry and onto the Wellington straight. And Venom on the inside line, forcing Toxic off. Both of them, I think, have got DRS. In fact, it's Toxic that's got the DRS, and he repays the favour. And he's back through the P4. But Venom is not giving this one up without a fight. Terrific racing out on track this is between them both, Toxic and Venom. Toxic is somehow. Oh, and he's lost it. Oh, and he's recovered it. How on earth has he recovered that?
He recovered that, but he's in the middle of the track. Everyone's just able to avoid him, and he keeps in the top 8 at the moment. He thinks he's going to look for Cops, I think. He might not be close enough, so Toxic holds on to 8. But yeah, another mistake from Toxic. Another moment where he's just too eager on the power, and he loses it on the rear, at the rear end. It's another mistake from Toxic.
Look at Lyronics!
Oh my word!
Around the outside onto the inside line. What a move that is by Lyronics! Throwing the inside of Maggots and Beckett. Z-Freaks and Toxic had caught Z-Freaks right in a pocket there, and Lyronics has now couldn't pull 2 moves off Shuley. The Universal's down on the inside line. Toxic is going to invite him. He will get the move done. Lyronics is through, and he's up into 8th position. Brilliant, brilliant racing, and most of the guys, some of them are staying out. Top 3 are in.
Yeah, the top 3 are in, as it was Lyronics. Another thing to note on as well, we completely missed it. I don't know what on earth happened to Blizzard, but he spun and got front wing damage somewhere, so he's dropped outside the top 10 again. He was behind Venom, so I wonder if they've come into contact. It might be possible, because obviously Venom's already had contact with a number of people in this race, but Blizzard has actually fallen way back down the field again with front wing damage. That's taken him completely out of the equation now.
It has. Spike has just got out ahead of Ollie Flavel as well within the pit lane, so now the pit stops have been given for half of the field. The other half will begin to come in. But Blizzard, what's his scenario now? Because his teammate is just ahead of him. Sean is on the back of Suarez down the inside line. Comes the Campos man. Oh, Suarez runs wide through Brooklands. This is Sean's invitation to go around the outside through Luffield, and I tell you what, he's going to pull it off, I think, as well. Suarez hanging on.
10, which is prime opportunity to pit for the softs. Surely either Toxic's going to have to go again, or they're going to have the double stack, which is just so bizarre to me that neither one of the Campos cars came in on the last lap.
Oh, Seathwicks are down the inside. Goodness me, so close to contact. Let's see what's going to pan out here. Both of them are coming in. Oh no, Toxic's staying out. Sorry, Toxic is staying out on track. But Blizzard is staying out as well, so both Tridents are not going to double stack, and neither are the 2 Camposes out on track as well. But that now leaves Toxic in the lead of the race, but surely with his front wing damage, he is now going to lose the time hand over fist.
Yeah, there's no way that he's gonna be able to keep within the group that were in front of him. They're going to be on fresh softs, and they're going to have a fully working car at this point, and Toxic, I think he didn't actually realise that Sean stayed out because he wanted to come into the pits and saw that his teammate was in and died to stay out on the track at the last moment, so he clearly wasn't paying attention to what was happening with his teammate, and that's actually cost him even more time. So it's been another disaster for Toxic. He had one really good event at the start of the season, and it's fallen apart from him since then.
It has fallen apart from him out on track. Blizzard, by the way, 5.1 seconds behind Toxic out on track. Sean on the back of Maze, and as Sean came out in front of Lyronics here, he has.
Yeah, I believe he was already ahead at that point. I think Lyronics tried to go for the undercut and it hadn't quite worked. But Sean's on the back of Maze now. This is for P5 in this race. Is Sean going to go for the move? He's really late on the brakes.
Oh, down the inside! Oh!
He's not quite able to get it. He's going to try and do the same move he did from Suarez a lap ago, but he just doesn't have the traction. I think Maze is always going to go for the exit though. Is he going to go for the move down into Cox? He's close enough, but I think Maze is coming in defend to the inside. But Maze is going to have to move back to the race in 9, or he's having really poor.
Oh, switch it back! Wide. Got him!
Yeah, shot through.
And now Lyronics.
Line. So I'm going to do it again in Maggots.
He is, you know, down the inside this time. Good move by Lyronics. Maze
he's through again.
Yeah, he's done it again. Lyronics is through up to P8. He is one of the recovery masters of tonight. I've got to be honest. Lyronics is through. He's up to 8. That has now given Sean a possible run, and now Lyronics is on the run. On the rampage now on Sean. Down the inside he comes into Stoll. Sean on the outside line. Lyronics on the inside line. Spike's new fastest lap of the race, but Lyronics is on the back of Sean. Tell you what, this is one of the best feature races I think we've had all season.
Yeah, it's been brilliant so far. Lyronics almost hit the back of Sean there, and he was able to miss him, which was really good. Just a note as well, Toxic and Blizzard have come in. Spike, meanwhile, has Ollie Favell at this point, and Ollie Favell's nearly got the 3-second gap to Vic Mill, so he's nearly second in second at the moment. We've seen where Toxic and Blizzard come out of the pit. Toxic comes out, still with damage on his front wing, so he decided not to change it, and has come out in 10th in the end, so he's come out way down the field, still within a possible shout of a reverse grid pole position, but it's down in 12th. He's only first at pit lane. What a disaster for our championship leader.
An absolute disaster. Blizzard down in 12th out of the points, it seems. That front wing damage really costing them within the pit lane. I think arguably he would have came out in that position anyways if he didn't replace the front wing damage.
Toxic has to look on Z3, so for P9. He takes the shallow line because obviously Toxic forces in there, but Toxic
inside
with front wing damage isn't able to get the run on the outside. Try and go for the better run, he gets it. Z3 sees it in though, but Z3 decides not to defend, and Toxic's going to be ahead of him going into the corner. Yeah, he's up to P9, but he undersits heavily through Cox with that front wing damage. He nearly ran straight into the back of him. And that kind of saves Toxic really going down into Maggots and Beckett, but he's going to be so through this section of corners. He thinks he's surely going to have the one in him down the hanger straight at this point. Almost got him on the exit of the corner. Yeah, surely he thinks he's going to be back past down the hanger straight now with Toxic's damage.
Toxic will defend for all of his might, though, he streaks her.
Lyronics and Sean are side by side again. Sean's done the switch back on Lyronics, who breaks a little bit too late for the corner. And Sean retakes P5, so Sean able to hold on. Oh, Sean makes a little mistake though. Lyronics is up the inside. They're going to be side by side through the last corner. Lyronics is going.
Oh my god.
Sean, Venom picks up a time penalty. That saves Vic Mill, who just picked up one as well. See, Lyronics isn't obviously going to go for the move at turn 1. Is he going to go for the move at turn 3? I think it's quite close enough to make the move stick, and he's just going to wait for the DRS straight by the looks of things. Mace is right on the back of these guys as well, as is Speedy Suarez. This is a 4-car train for P5 at this point. See what Lyronics can do on the exit. Does he have a good enough exit? Surely he's close enough. Only 2 tenths between the pair of them. He's going to have the run. Does Sean decide to defend, or does he stick to the outside? He doesn't defend it. Lyronics is going for the inside. They'll take a very shallow line through the corner. Sean can have a better run into Luffield. They're still side by side. This is incredible, these two. Lyronics on the outside. Sean somehow holds on to P5. Meanwhile, Toxic and Z3 so side by side again. Left field. I think Toxic's actually got the move done.
Yeah, Toxic got the move done.
Like had going up the inside in just enough. Back into Beckett. Is he going to try another signature Lyronics move? He's not close enough. No wait for the hanger straight. He's going to be obviously a little bit of a patient waiting the patient going through the Maggots and Beckett's corners, waiting for the straight. Surely he's close enough. He's got a much better run than Sean. Sean's going to have to go to the inside to defend this one, and he doesn't. Sticks in the middle of the track. This has got the inside. And Lyronic's more than a car length ahead going to the goal. This is up to 5th. But look at the exit Sean gets. Jesus, he nearly runs straight into the back of him. Lyronic's defense to the inside. Sean looks to the outside. Lyronic's a little bit late on the brake. He might have it covered though.
Put your back.
He does, but he's not quite able to do it. Sean doesn't have the run. So in the end, Lyronic's just about holds on to P5. But wow, what a battle between these two.
Fantastic battling between these two. Univertosi and Campos out on track. Penultimate lap of the race already. Where's the time gone? Spike 1.7 seconds ahead of Ollie. Vicmil in 3rd. Venom now 4th and clear of this pack. Lyronic's in 5th. Blizzard, by the way, new fastest lap of the race. 140.8 on a set of soft compound of tyres. Sean in 6th. Mays in 7th. Speedy Suarez in 8th. And this battle's now beginning to get going between the Spaniard and the Brit. Both are running in a bit of a DRS trend. And did I just see a slight bit of rain there, possibly?
I'm not quite sure. Oh, Suarez has a look down the inside. Is he going to be able to make it stick? No, he just doesn't have the momentum on the exit of the corner. But this is going to be the 3rd race in a row. He's going to end up on reverse grid pole of it. He's had a pretty consistent run of finishing 8th feature races and taking the pole for the next race. Obviously, the 2 sprint races haven't come his way so far, but he's looking for P7. He doesn't have a run through Cop, so Mace is going to hold it through there. And Lyronic's is now gapped Sean at this point. Lyronic's is definitely looking safe for P5 now. This Suarez is going to be able to have the run in the exit hanger straight. We can't count this gap. He's just out of range, but these two battling will bring him to play. So Maze doesn't have the best of runs, but he has DRS on Sean, so Maze does have that to help him defend.
Look at the speed of Speedy.
Yeah, is he going to look to the inside? He does. He's late enough on the brakes. He's really late on the brakes. He sends it on the inside, gets a bit stopped, but Maze is going to run on the exit of the corner and holds P7. Does he have another look into Bale? No, he's not close enough to make the move stick. So, fair enough for Maze. Brilliant defending from Maze. Suarez isn't able to make the move stick yet. It's a note as well. We're on to the final lap. Like you said, where on earth is this race gone? Spike, he got out into the lead after the pit stop. Ollie Flavel's stuck with him, but just hasn't had the pace to repass Spike and take over the lead of the race. Spike, I don't think has picked up a time anyway, so to be safe even if Ollie Flavel had passed him. Meanwhile, Vic Mill, he's on for 3rd still, but he's kind of dropped off the top 2 at this point. He didn't really have the pace of the top 2 at the start of the race. But again, Mr. Consistency on the podium once more. When is he not on the podium? It feels like it's almost it's a weird day when he's not there, but he's doing a brilliant job in 3rd. Venom's up to 4th. Lyronic's is safe in 5th now. Suarez still not close enough to make the move stick on Maze either, so I don't know, this looks like the way the race is going to finish at this point. I don't think anyone's really close enough to make a move yet.
Do not discount out Toxic, by the way. Do not discount him out. He's 4.5 tenths off the back of Speedy Suarez. It was 1.2 last time around, and Toxic is trying to close in on Speedy for that reverse grid pull. I think he's got a time penalty as well. And he's brought Z3xer with him. Yeah, you're right. So Z3xer on the back, but Ollie Flavel coming down behind Spike, down towards Stowe for the final time in this feature race. What a feature race it has been, as well as Casper has desynced out of the race. So Casper has left the session out of the race. Spike now into the final corner, looking good through here. He's got to control it through, and Spike is going to take the win in the feature race. What a great feature race it was. Spike wins in Silverstone. Ollie Flavel is 2nd. He got enough of a gap to Vicmil, I think, as well, so he'll remain in that position. And Vicmil picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. Venom across the line in 4th. Might be penalties coming his way. Not sure about that. We'll leave it up to the stewards. Lyronic's in 5th. Sean going to be across the line in 6th. Maze hanging on desperately from Speedy Suarez, but look at the changes to the order. Maze up to 5th, Speedy Suarez up to 6th, Lyronic's down to 7th, and Sean down to 8th as a result of penalties. Blizzard across the line in 11th. Casper's AI car, he will not get any points anyways. Casper across the line in 12th position. Conti across the line in 13th, and Brandon Glover will be across the line in 14th. And in fact, Conti jumped on Casper because of the 5-second penalty. Brandon Glover then coming around the final couple of corners. Really been a forgotten race, I think, for Brandon out on track, and he's got a left puncture as well, actually, has Brandon. So obviously he's ran over some front wing. He's got front left puncture coming around the final corner. He's managed to get it home. So Brandon Glover across the line in 14th position. I'm not sure where he picked up that puncture. 4-lap old softs as well. He must have run over some debris.
Yeah, he must have hit something. That's bizarre for 4-lap old soft tyres to puncture, so I'm not quite sure what really happened to him. He had a bit of a disastrous race, which is a shame for him, but just looking at the finishing result, not a single person apart from Ollie Flavel ended up finishing where they started. It was such a chaotic race. I think the least amount of places gained for someone was 3, so people were all over the place in that race. Look at that. Not any... That's insane. No one inside the top 5, apart from Ollie Flavel, finished within the top 8 of the race.
Wow. Spike wins here at Silverstone for the feature race. Ollie Flavel second and Vic Mill finishing in third. Mr. Consistent himself. We'll run you through the order in just a second, but it comes up. And Spike does take that win out on track from Ollie Flavel in second, Vic Mill third, Venom in fourth, Maze in fifth, Speedy Suarez sixth, Ironic seventh, Sean in eighth, Toxic 90, Threaks 10th, Blizzard 11th, Conti 12th, Casper 13th, Brandon Glover 14th. They all finished. Siege and Honey Badger out of the race. Their respective points will be back for the sprint race. Welcome back everyone to TTL F2. This is the sprint race now for Silverstone. I'm here with Aidan Carter, and Aidan, you're going to take us through a lap of whoever we ride on board with.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, because it's a sprint race, it's going to be first grid, so shot. So the rest over. So and so it's Sean who from the Ironics was second. Last time Ironics started this up in a sprint race, he won that sprint race. Obviously, his first sprint race in the championship was in Baku, and he won that pretty dominantly. So, looking out for Ironics in this race, he might be one to look out for. Suarez holds third. Suarez has started in the top 3 in every single sprint race that he started, so he's another good bet for this one. Maze is fourth after a really good feature race for him, ahead of Venom in fifth. Vic Mill 6th, so Vic Mill was 3rd place in the feature race ahead of Ollie Flavel, who ended up 2nd after starting 2nd on the grid himself as well. And Spike, the winner of the feature race, obviously he'll start in P8 for this one. First person to not be reversed on the grid was Toxic in P9, who was the pole sitter for the feature race, so another disastrous race for him. And a disastrous race for a number of people. 2 championship challengers completely retired from the race in Siege and Honey Badger. Blizzard outside the points, Toxic down in P9 from first on the grid. The only two like championship contenders that had a good race in the feature race were Vic Mill and Spike.
Yeah, Vic Mill and Spike having a great race out on track, obviously finishing 1st and 3rd respectively. Coming into the sprint race, obviously they're 6th and 8th, but in respective to the feature race, they were 1st and 3rd. And looking at this sprint race, one driver that strikes out for me in that race who pulled off one of the best moves I've seen around this track in a Formula 2 car was Lyronics. Surely he is the one to beat in this sprint race.
Absolutely, he's my bet for the sprint race winning this one. I think the confidence that he showed in his F2 car in the feature race was insane. The move that you mentioned that he pulled off in Maggots and Beckett's around the outside of, was it Maze, I believe he pulled that move off on? I think it was Maze he went around the outside of. I mean, he went around Maggots and Beckett's. I kind of lost track of how many people Beckett's in that race, but he's definitely my bet for race winning the sprint race. I think in terms of the other 2 podium finishers, well, it's going to be difficult. I think we'll probably see Venom on the podium, and we'll probably see Vic Mill on the podium as well. But don't bet against likes of Toxic and Blizzard, and Honey Badger and Siege as well, coming back through the field after their relatively poor results in the feature race.
It's a bit of a mixed grid. I'm going to go for top 3 and say Lyronics for the win. I'm going to go Vic Mill 2nd, and for 3rd I'm going to go Blizzard from 11th.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wouldn't bet against it. We've seen how dominant Blizzard can be, so I wouldn't be surprised.
But the 5 red lights are going to go out once again here at Silverstone. Aidan, you can take the start.
Absolutely, and so the 5 red lights are coming on in front of the drivers. Who gets the best start then? It's going to be the Campos or the Univirtuosi. Off the line they go. There's a long hold, and Lironix gets an incredible start compared to Sean. Lironix already alongside for the race lead. Is he going to take the lead in turn 1 though? It's going to have to be quite sharp. He runs Sean a little bit out of, there's a bit of contact further back. That's Maze. I don't know if he's got caught up with someone. Oh no, one of the championship contenders down the back of the field. But Lironix takes the lead at the first corner. Speedy Suarez holds on to third. Venom holds on to fourth. Flavel's already up to, actually say that. Toxic's down the inside. Toxic's up to fifth. There's a little bit of wheel bang between Toxic and Ollie Flavel. Not quite sure what's going on there. Ollie Flavel off the side of the road. They're still side by side somehow. Toxic's still trying to go for the movement on. Venom has passed Speedy Suarez down the Wellington Straight, so I don't know if Suarez made a little mistake, but Venom up to third. Toxic gets the move done for fifth. Blizzard's up to seventh. Brandon Glover's up to eighth. They've had incredible starts. Honey Badger from last on the grid is ninth. He's had a brilliant start so far. Conti's out of the race. I think CJ might have left the session, and I think Casper, obviously his AI cut, he's not here at the moment either. Nathan C3 and Victim have all had pretty poor starts, as has Siege. Spike has not had a good start from 8th on the grid. He's fallen to 10th in the end. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Venom's already on the back of Sean for second, so Venom's had a brilliant start. See if he can try and keep with Sean through the chapter corner and onto the hanger straight. Obviously, there's no DRS yet, so it's going to be pretty difficult for him to make the move down into Stowe. I just don't think he's going to be close enough at this point, but can he hold through Stowe and get him into the Vale Club chicane? Sean's a little bit wide of the apex. Going to have a look, I think. He has a look at the... Don't think it's close enough. Meanwhile, or side by side again. Go really well and then through Club, and he's just... Blizzard looking to see if he can capitalize on those two. Meanwhile, Lironix finishes the lap near 2 seconds cleared. Venom's going to go for the inside of turn 1. And Sean leaves in just enough space. Venom held on to that one brilliantly. Good stuff for Venom, but Sean just about holds on to second at that point. Yeah, he's just about going to hold on. I think Blizz having a look at Ollie Favre. Ollie Favre's actually spun. Ollie Favre, I don't know if there was contact with Blizz. No. He spun on his own, but he's dropped up the exit there in the loop section, which was up for a top 5 finish possibly, but down by the wayside. Venom side of Sean into Brooklands, and I think he's going to get the move. More momentum on the outside. But Venom's closed the door, and yeah, Venom up to second, and a bit of a chaotic first lap.
Chaotic first lap indeed. Toxic on the back of Speedy Suarez. Oh, and they make contact. Speedy Suarez coming across on Toxic, and Toxic trying to go around the outside here. He's trying to force him actually onto the inside end to Stowe. Not having that one, and Toxic ran the outside, eventually getting the overspeed, ran the outside, gets the move done up to 4th. They were just having contact in the lead up to that as well on lap 1. They were having a little bit of a set 2 out on track. Not really the healthiest thing to do, if I've got to be honest, but out on track, doing good. Lironix, by the way,
again, quite a few points back on the 2-point lead coming into this, and rolls over first. He's now back in. So, that's already for him. 8 decide to fight it, and I think it's going to be 23. I'm sure it's P4, but Blizzard on the back of him. Blizzard thought about having to look up the inside, but there wasn't enough for him there. And one holds up to P4, P5. So Blizzard has an incredible start from 11th on the grid. Don't count him at this point. One top hadn't made any both Lironix looking pretty comfortable after that first lap. He obviously with the chaos, and he's just driven away up front, and Venom just doesn't have the confidence. Blizzard's passed Sean on the exit of Cops, so Blizzard already up into 4th. Blizzard's absolutely flying.
Yeah, Blizzard flying, getting the move done through in towards Maggots actually, so Blizzard getting the move done, set him up through Cops, got the move done. Blizzard through, he's up to 4th, but looking behind, Brandon Glover, Honey Badger, all fighting out for 7th and 8th position. Remember, this is the reverse grid race, 11 laps worth of action, literally about 20 minutes worth of action out on track. Honey Badger and Brandon not close enough. And what we mean here, I think, is they're all in a DRS trend, so they're all stuck, literally not going for any sorts of positions, as Brandon just locks up slightly down the inside line there through Vale. Honey Badger them on the back. Venom, new fastest lap of the race, 42.2, but not, interestingly, catching Lironix ahead, who was 2.7 seconds ahead currently at this stage. Lironix leads, Venom 2nd, Toxic 3rd, Blizzard in 4th, Sean 5th, Speedy Suarez in 6th. All of this battling, by the way, is spanning from Toxic all the way down to Spike.
Yeah, from 3rd to 9th, this pack is incredibly close. I think that's just the nature of a sprint race, really, isn't it? With the faster people having to work their way through the field, this kind of train can form. I don't know if Brandon's quite close enough to Suarez for P6. I think obviously Suarez is still with the DRS. He's just not able to get the move done, unfortunately, so Brandon's not going to be able to pass down into Brooklands, but Suarez is starting to drop out of DRS range of Sean now, so that's going to make him vulnerable to the 3 cars behind him at this point. Ollie Flavel's starting to recover a little bit. He's only about 2 seconds off the back of this queue. Vic Mill, meanwhile, just kind of running around on his own at the moment from 11th. He needs a little bit of chaos in front for him to regain some points, unfortunately. See how else is happening in front. Blizzard not able to quite keep the Toxic. It's about a second between the two of them, and Toxic starting to catch Venom to second. So it's getting a bit closer, and Venom's taken about 3 or 4 tenths of a second out of Ironics on this lap. So I think Venom's starting to get into a bit more of a groove now. He's starting to catch our race leader.
He is actually dragging Toxic maybe along with him, because he's now got Blizzard for 2nd behind him. Blizzard actually not using up any DRS there. I think he was out of range actually of the DRS, but now Toxic is beginning to grab a little bit closer into this race. And Venom dragging along Toxic.
Sorry to cut around the outside of Brandon Glover. Inside of Glover. Thinks about it. He's still into the last corner. And oh my god. How on earth did he save that? Really well held. He's got 2 positions because of it. Spike's through as well. The Spike takes a couple right through turn 1. Brandon, have a look maybe into the village section.
Not around the outside.
He thinks about it, but I just it up. Spike. Honey Badger's obviously not close enough to Suarez, but Suarez is definitely close enough to Sean maybe to have a think about looking. Might not be able to make a move down into Brooklands or Luffield, but if he sticks with him coming up through the Maggots and Beckett section, he could be on for a P5 at this point. Venom, though, really starting to take chunks of time out of Ironics now. He's got into a bit of a rhythm, and the gap's now down below 2 seconds.
Yeah, gap is closing down, I've got to be honest. Again, Toxic has been dragged along with this, and Blizzard now becoming in a bit of no man's land. And all of that battling, by the way, from 3rd down to 9th it was, and now Ollie Flavel on the back for 10th. This has all really spanned from, and has now just completely dissipated towards the top 5. And I know dissipated was the wrong word I used there, so yeah.
Yeah, English, a little bit of English level diarrhea, maybe. But yeah, Sean's definitely fallen from the top 4. The top 4 just in a little bit of a different league at this point. But Sean doing a good defensive job. Here comes Suarez. Thinks about it, but Sean moves back to the racing line. Suarez can't get the move done, so he's fighting for 5th. And they've got 3 or 4 maybe faster drivers up behind them, but they're not close enough to make their move stick either. So
Suarez into the back of Sean. Goodness me, that was beautifully on board. The camera angle on the front wing, you saw the contact between the two. Luckily, no front wing damage.
Brilliant, yeah, no, I think Honey Badger almost did exactly the same thing. He got caught out by Suarez, having to go a little bit slower through the corner, and Honey Badger nearly pounced straight into the back of Suarez. That was almost a horrible Constantina effect, but they managed to get away with it.
Yeah, Brandon on the back as well with Spike and Ollie Flavel. So this is literally a 6-way battle for 5th out on track now. Sean is leading this battle. Honey Badger though on the back of Speedy Suarez. Can he get the move done, the Dutchman? He's down the inside here into Brooklyn. Speedy though will have the right of way of the corner and no move getting done. I think Honey Badger realises he's not going to pull off the move there, and he's certainly not going to pull off the move around the outside of Luffield surely. He might switch it back towards Woodcote, but that's Spike in as I nearly fall over with my controller. Spike is on the back of Honey Badger. Honey Badger on the inside line through cops. Oh, Suarez got to be careful. Just got to realise the car on the inside line there. But somehow he's kept the traction around the outside and kept the position. But this is a right old fight.
Yeah, brilliant fight between these guys, and Spike is right on the back of these two. He's got a perfect view of this in front. I think Spike's just waiting for a mistake or a little bit of contact between these two. A pounce on the pair of them, but Honey Badger surely's got the run on Speedy Suarez this time round. Coming up to Stowe. Suarez, is he going to defend? He's not, I don't think. Or he does a little bit. Honey Badger goes
outside. He comes across on him!
Oh, he comes across, yeah, and that's the second race.
Right, Honey Badger's out.
In the wall. Such a shame for Honey Badger. 2 really, really poor races. And this is exactly what happened between Suarez and Honey Badger in the sprint race last time out.
Yep, so unfortunate, I think. Suarez just moved across him. He thought he was clear. He wasn't. Again, a bit of questionable drive, if I've got to be honest. I'm sure that one will go to the stewards. That allows the likes of Brandon Glover and Ollie Flavel up a position as well. As a result, Honey Badger has left the session. I think rightfully so, to be honest, after that. Gap for the lead, by the way. Now a second. Venom catching Lyronix.
Yeah, Venom nearly within DRS range, and Toxic, he's getting closer to Venom himself as well, so these two are starting to hunt down the race leader, and for some reason, I think Blizzard just, for some reason, doesn't seem to have the pace to keep with these two. He's not able to close in and keep with them for a possible fight at the victory. Fourth is still a good result for Blizzard, considering that his closest championship rival is still down in 10th at this point. So he's doing alright so far, and he's managing his pace well, but he's just not able to battle with the top three at this point.
Yeah, Toxic on the back of Venom. They nearly kill me, the cameraman there. And Venom, 3 second time penalty on the exit of Cops there for Venom. So that is going to be quite costly for the guy out on track. Toxic on the back. Blizzard 2.2 seconds away. I think all of these guys are having some resemblance of dirty. Yeah, as Toxic recovers the car just about through Chapel. Gives him no opportunity though to have a run on him. Speaking of having a run, Spike is on the back of Sean. There's the yellow flag in sector 2 and Z3's around at Luffield. Spike is down the inside line though on Sean. He's going to get the move done here. He's sailed past him. The Universalsi through on the Campos. The Campos trying to go up the inside. Spike and Sean, these two go back quite a long way. They've had a few good battles here in TTL. And look at Brandon's move from the outside.
Ooh, he thinks about it.
He's going to do it, you know.
He is, yeah. He's
what
got
a move!
On the outside. Brilliant move from Brandon Glover. Pulled that one off. Put a lot of faith in Sean that he wasn't going to outbreak himself, but brilliant stuff from Brandon Glover, and he's up to P6.
Gap for the lead is a 2/10 of a second. Venom is right on the back of Lyronix. He's locking up everywhere. Those hards are clearly going off out on track. Sorry to cut in there, but I just spied it to the left-hand side of me. Venom is on the back of Lyronix. Toxic is in this. Blizzard is getting going as well, you know. He's not out of this either. And Venom ran the outside in towards Brooklyn. Lyronix on the inside line. How on earth have they not made contact there? A little bit of banging wheels on the exit of Brooklands. Venom on the inside line. Lyronix on the outside line. But Venom down the inside line. Lyronix is not giving him any room at all. Credit to the German trying to pull off the move. But I think I might be inferior on the run down towards Cops because Venom is going to get the move. Toxic is just weaving in the background, thinking, guys, I'm coming. And Toxic is on the back of Lyronix as well. The three-way battle for the leaders commence. Blizzard do not rule them out in fourth either.
Yeah, absolutely not. Blizzard can definitely capitalise on these three fighting. Lyronix, though, at this point, still on for a race win because obviously Venom has his time penalty. I don't know if Lyronix knows that at this point, but he's still going to try and fight him. He's definitely close enough for a move at Stowe. Is he going to try and get him back? Let's see if he can go around the outside. Venom keeping right to the inside of the track, not giving any space there. So Lyronix goes for the outside. Venom late on the brakes. He's going to try and force him wide. Gets him just about enough room. Lyronix is still on the inside for Vale. See if he can break Blake enough to outbreak him. He can't. Venom sends it deep into the corner, and he takes a lot of entry covers Venom, but he keeps the place. Here comes Toxic now. Here comes Toxic on the back of Lyronix. Is he going to make the move into turn 1? I don't think he is. He's going to back out. He's going to wait for the DRS. And look at that. Blizzard's already nearly within a second. Oh, Lyronix is wide. Lyronix runs wide, and Toxic straight round the outside of him. Brilliant move from Toxic. Well judged as well. He didn't almost ran straight into the side of Lyronix, but gave him to recover from his own little error there. But Toxic is now up into second, and this is the net race lead for him because of Venom's penalty. So let's see if Toxic sticks behind Venom or whether he goes for the move and wins on track. Meanwhile, Blizzard's within 3/10 of a second. He's battling, has helped Blizzard out massively. He's caught from 1.8 seconds to just 3/10 of a second. So Z3 by the way getting out of everyone's way. He had a spin through, I think it was entry again for Z3. Oh, it was actually the village section. My apologies. Z3 having another spin, so he's down there in 12th position. He may as well keep on going though. You never know how this race is going to unfold. Ollie Flavel, by the way, I think has got past Sean if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So he's through up to 7th. Oh my god! Sorry to jump in, Blizzard. How on earth did he save that on the exit of the Cops? It was all over the place, but he actually got a 3-second time penalty from that. So that's going to cost him a podium at this point if he doesn't get past Venom, who's the only other person at this point with a penalty. Lyronix a poor exit from Chapel. This is going to go for the outside. Meanwhile, Toxic for the race lead as well. I think it's close enough. I think he's going to think about it, but he's not close enough. Meanwhile, Blizzard's going to go around the outside, and he's doing to P3. But at the moment, it's all in vain with that time penalty. So all Lyronix needs to do is keep it on the track and not get a time penalty, and he gets position.
Yeah, a bit of a look up there from Venom out in front. Ollie Flavel, by the way, all over the back of Brandon Glover. You don't know where to turn, really, in this race. We're on the penultimate lap. Well, the leaders are just starting the penultimate lap now as Ollie is chasing down Brandon Glover. Blue sky, sunshine here in Silverstone. Venom leads the way, 4.5 tenths from Toxic in second. Blizzard third, Lyronix fourth, Spike in fifth in No Man's Land. Brandon in sixth, Ollie Flavel seventh, Sean and Ed Speedy Suarez in ninth, Vic Mill 10th. Was recovered well. Mays in 11th, Threexa in 12th, and the other two, of course, have disconnected from the race. Sejan Casper, Toxic though, on the back of Venom. He's not close enough. He's got to be within 3 tenths through entry to get a move done there. Not close enough, yeah, but personal best first sector.
Yeah, let's see if he's close enough on the exit of Luffield to go for a move down to Cops. He's not quite got the run on Venom. Yeah, Venom's going to hold it through Cops, but it's going to be the hang straight once again, where he's going to try and get the run on Venom into Stowe. That's really the only other overtaking opportunity on this track at this point. But at the moment, let's see if Toxic can keep it on the road and not get a penalty. At the moment, he doesn't really need to pass him at this point. He can just stick behind him and not get a penalty and keep the race win, but I don't think that's in Toxic's blood. I think Toxic wants to win on track. We see him push all the time. He always pushes to the absolute limit and sometimes over it, and it costs him at points, but he's going to try and go for the move. Venom, though, all the way to the left-hand side of the track to try and break the toe, and Toxic not choosing to go in the toe himself. So I think he's just resting back at this point and waiting for maybe a mistake from Venom, or just wait until the end of the race.
Toxic, by the way, and Lyronix have got 2 warnings and 3 warnings respectively, so they're very much on the brink of getting a penalty 2 out on track. Venom, though, round the final corner to take the final lap of the race, and it is Venom who leads. Toxic second, Blizzard third, Lyronix in fourth. Ollie Flavel still trying to fight his way past Brandon Glover. Speedy Suarez is on the back of Sean as well. There are 4 different battles, however many you can count up. Blizzard on the back of Toxic. Venom just beginning to maybe strike away slightly. It's 5.5 tenths coming through the loop once again for the final time, and Venom leads the way, but Toxic in the superior run out of the corner, but not going to be close enough on the back.
No.
Venom, though, under pressure. Toxic trying to go around the outside, not going to be close enough though. Blizzard and Lyronix has now dropped off, so this is a 3-way fight for the win.
Absolutely at this point, but still, Lyronix, if he keeps it clean, is on for a second place finish, so he's done a good job to keep with these guys. He got caught relatively quickly, but once they passed him, he's not fully dropped off the back of them. He's still within DRS range, and that's keeping him within touch in case any of them make a mistake. But at this point, I think I don't see really anywhere else on the track apart from midway through Maggots and Beckett where these guys can get penalties. I think Toxic may be safe at this point. Don't want to curse him. I'll touch wood somewhere, but he's just. I think it's. Oh, there we go. Lyronix gets the time penalty, so that's going to seal the deal for him. He's not going to end up on the podium because of that, which is such a shame. He's driven a great race up until this point, but that one penalty is going to cost him a podium finish at this point, which is such a shame. Sean also picks up a time penalty midway through. Maggots and Beckett. Meanwhile, Ollie Flavel's all over Brandon Glover for P6. He's going to go for the move at Stowe.
Venom, by the way. Venom, by the way, coming through the final corner. Suarez getting the move done on Sean, but Venom's going to cross the line to win. Toxic, though, will take the win out on track. He finally gets a one for the first time since Brandon's down the inside of Ollie. God almighty. Ollie is through, he's up to 6th, and Sean has got back past Speedy Suarez around the outside of Club. Fantastic racing right to the flag. Ollie Flavel across the line in 6th, Brandon in 7th, Suarez in 8th, Sean in 9th, Vic will be 10th, and Mays will be 11th. My God, sprint racing, absolutely breathless.
Jesus, I'm out of breath after that one. That was absolutely crazy. Vic Mill's going to pick up the last points position in 10th, so he does take something away from this race, despite it being a little bit of a disaster for him. But one person to shout out in this race who's thrown himself into the championship battle is Spike. He didn't finish that far behind Blizzard in the end in the sprint race, despite a bit of a poor start, and he won the feature race. So Spike has thrown himself into this championship fight.
Spike, I think, was he had a broken right wrist, I'm pretty sure, last week, if I'm not mistaken, or right arm or something like that. Well, look at him now.
Yeah, absolutely. With a win and a 5th place, he's thrown himself into contention.
Toxic, unfortunately, I can't say it's Brendan Louis out on track, so yeah. But it is Brendan Lee who takes the win. It is Toxic, of course, who's taken the win here in the sprint race. A fantastic race from him. Kept it clean. Very rare to see Toxic not picking up any penalties as well. So, good job from him out on track He takes the win in the sprint race. 15 points going his way. Venom in second. Blizzard in third. Very unlucky, some of these guys, with their time penalties. But Blizzard from 11th drove very well, I think, from third position. Picked up fastest lap as well. Ironics in fourth. Spike in fifth. Ollie Flavel sixth. Brandon Glover 7th. Speedy Suarez in 8th. Sean in 9th. Vic Mill in 10th. Mason 11th. Threekser, he did get round in 12th position. Honey Badger, Conti, and that was it.
Yeah, Honey Badger and Conti the only retirements in the race.
There are the results as well for the weekend. Spike picking up most points out on track with 32, given the fastest lap of the race is not 2 points out on track. But there we have it. That is the sprint race over and done with. Aiden, let's review the action. Who was your driver of the day?
Oh, it's going to be a difficult one for... There's a number of people that could get it for different reasons. I think feature race wise, I've got to give it to Spike. I think Spike drove a brilliant race in the feature race, and I think he was just in a bit of a... He was just fast enough to keep it ahead of Ollie Flavel and win the feature race, and he did a good job in the sprint race as well. Not quite as fast as I expected him to be. I think my driver of the day for the sprint race would probably be Lyronix, just because the three that finished in front of him, we kind of expect to be at the front. I think Lyronix, considering he's not had as many races as people around him on the field, and the start of the race that he had, I think Lyronix would probably take my driver of the day in the sprint race.
I've got to be honest, my driver of the day overall, it's very difficult, you know. It is
yeah.
So difficult to pick a driver of the day. Tell you what, I'll go driver of the race. Feature race for me was... I'm trying to think. I don't really have a feature race driver of the day, to be honest. Driver of the day, though, for the sprint race for me, I'm going to have to give it to Toxic. I think he drove a very astute race out on track. Very well, we don't see him picking up penalties out on track either. So Toxic gets my driver of the race for the sprint race. But it's so hard to pick an overall driver of the day. Look,
absolutely, because no one really had a consistent event. It was up and down for pretty much everyone in that one. So I think driver of the event, I'd probably give it to Spike, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I think he'd probably be driver of the event for me, just because even though we didn't have the best start to the sprint race, he recovered well to come home in fifth.
Driver of the day for me, Spike. I'll agree with you on there. There you go. You've heard it here first. Of course, tune in for more TTTV action. For we should be live hopefully on Thursday, TTL F1, which will be Kieran McGinley and myself hopefully going to be taking you through that one. Kieran again missed last week due to connection issues, but hopefully he will be back. And then Friday it is TTL F1 League 2. Myself and Paco Suarez are going to be taking you through that one. And then Saturday we've got a night off. There's nothing happening on Saturday. No CRC. It is a break week, but we will be returning next Saturday for the touring cars for CRC. Cannot wait for that, and I'm going to be commentating, I think, on that alongside either or Ash Richardson or 007 Professional. I'm assuming out for Saturday. I'll have to confirm that though. But for me, James Head from Aiden Carter, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. We hope you enjoyed the action. Stay at home, protect the lives, save the... no, let's start again. Nearly said something different there. Stay at home, protect the NHS, protect your health service as well, and save lives. Because if you don't stay home, you do not save lives. It is simple as that. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.
I